Hey Tom, let's dunk on the Black Panther movies.
Okay, so basically, which part of Martin Freeman's iconic CIA agent Everett K. Ross do you want to talk about?
I don't remember Martin Freeman's iconic CIA agent Everett K. Ross doing a whole lot in Black Panther. Was Martin Freeman's iconic CIA agent Everett K. Ross a big part of the movie?
Martin Freeman's iconic CIA agent Everett K. Ross is a big part of what I'm comfortable making fun of about it.
Tom, what are you doing?
Well, Nina, if you're asking me, we've got two options. We could do like you said and poke holes in Wakanda forever, or we could talk about the new draft of the pitch I'm working on for Alvin and the Chipmunks 6.
Let's go with your first idea.
Nah, my first idea was that Alvin goes to Johannesburg after a messy divorce and records an ethnically inspired solo album, but there's too much gray area when it comes to appropriation, and
Okay, let's go with your other first idea, the one where we talk about Black Panther 2.
Alright, just know that if you change your mind, we can always go back to my pitch for Alvin and the Chipmunks 6, Simon and Garfunkel.
Come on, man, you usually love ragging on sci-fi, and Black Panther had some easy targets. Like, for instance, Wakanda is a supposed paradise nation, but every monarch takes over because his daddy says so and because he's better than other guys at very wet boxing. It's not exactly a beacon of contemporary leadership and representative democracy.
If you say so.
Black Panther is a rich guy who beats people up. He's all the shady parts of Batman, plus he's taxpayer funded. If Prince William raised air travel duties to buy himself a bulletproof Badger costume so he could track down poachers on royal grounds and put them in a coma, it'd be worth raising an eyebrow, right?
Your words, not mine. And for what it's worth, I think it's really bold of you, letting a little air out of Wakanda Forever's tires.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, most internet comedians in the 99th percentile of paleness would probably think twice about throwing even lighthearted jabs at a franchise that's widely considered a cultural touchstone for an underserved community.
Oh.
Especially following the tragic, untimely passing of said franchise's beloved star, who had himself become a beacon of optimism and pop culture representation after only a handful of in-character appearances, up to the point where even referring to his work respectfully and in passing in the context of comedy writing feels like a grievous emotional invasion.
Oh no.
Anyway, I'm rambling. What were some of the funny little things you wanted to say about Black Panther?
Nothing. I don't want to say anything.
Cool. So the way I see it, the kids who saw the first live-action Alvin and the Chipmunks movie are old enough to appreciate more mature storylines. So we have Alvin become addicted to the rock and roll lifestyle, right? Needles, pills, loose women.
How about we pivot back? Because that all sounds also bad.
All right, but just let me know if you want to talk about Alvin and the Chipmunks 6, Monkey for Nothing, and Chips for Free.
Okay, wait. What about, the bad guy in Black Panther 2? If they're up against the Utopia of Wakanda, they gotta be serving up some solid ground for a good ribbing, right?
I can see why you'd say that. The antagonist in Wakanda Forever is Namor, a character with a history that predates Marvel Comics itself. Introduced in 1939, Namor the Submariner has traditionally been viewed as the significantly dorkier precursor to other uninspiring underwater characters. He swam so that Aquaman could swim faster, that sort of thing.
Oh, payday, cool. Yeah.
Totally. And he wears little swimmy trunks, and he hangs out in Atlantis, and he has teeny tiny little wings on his little feet that let him fly up in the air. You know, flying, the thing that underwater guys do.
All right. Perfect.
And his meticulously sculpted eyebrows and slicked back Goodfellas hair, and being constantly loudly and uncomfortably horny all the time, pretty much made him a universal punchline in the comic book community.
I've got some brutal roast jokes for when Aquaman 2 comes out, but that's never happening, so...
Which is why it's so interesting that the makers of Black Panther 2 chose to abandon the character's usual Greco-Roman visual influences, instead using him as a vehicle for Central American representation in mass media.
What?
Yeah, see, director Ryan Coogler has reimagined the character of Namor as a quasi-Mayan holdover from a long-forgotten civilization, going so far as to rework Atlantis into the mythical Aztec paradise of Tlalocan in a sweeping display of cross-cultural awareness. It's an opportunity for millions of people around the world to truly feel seen by one of history's biggest entertainment properties. It's a pretty enormous deal. So what were some of the pissy little goofs you wanted to make about Namor, you stuck-up piece of shit?
I changed my mind.
That's great. So, before the opening title card even hits the screen on Alvin 6, I want it clear that Simon has developed some thoughts on what Bill Gates is putting in vaccines, and he is eager to use his platform to make them known.
Tom, stop.
All right, but the second you want to know more about Alvin and the Chipmunk 6 Microchip Monks, you just holler.
I gotta say, you've really painted me into a corner here.
How do you mean?
Well, I can either try to make fun of something that I clearly have no place making fun of.
Oh, yeah.
Or lean into some edgelord, gobbledygook, Family Guy, pop culture, mishmash garbage about cartoon rodents with helium voices.
Yeah, right.
Like, are those really the only choices?
It's sort of the state of internet comedy, unless you want to dump on Logan Paul.
What's the downside there?
You'd have to learn about Logan Paul.
So what's Theodore's whole deal in your movie?
Well, Theodore, who at this point has been well established as a misogynist incel, is transported through an experiment gone wrong to the East End of London in the late 19th century. Alvin and the Chipmunks 6, the White Chipple Murders.
Great.
We could also just call it Jack the Chipper.
What's Martin Freeman's whole deal in the first Black Panther movie again?
They stick him in a corner and let him play Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Guess it beats hanging out with hobbits all day.
Actually, Andy Serkis is there.
Really? Mocap?
No mocap until Infinity War. That's when Chris Evans comes back.